What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the third edition of Dinger Dudes. We got Chase, we got Steven, we got the Wexican, Jackson himself. Unfortunately, he got the face cam working again, but to
Gross.
Hey,
start
I got
things
my
off,
Sorry,
mic.
Michael.
I
Sorry,
got my mic
Michael.
fixed. I got
All
my
right.
mic fixed.
I'm gonna bring this in right now. I'm pissed. Andrew, Jake, I'm pissed off. This offense is looking like complete booty cheeks right now. Horrible. We can't hit a ball. Every time we bring up somebody from AAA, we're getting waxed. It's getting annoying. I'm literally turning off the TV just about every 2 innings because we can't seem to keep the other team off the board. It's a rough time to be a Braves fan right now. It's a rough time to honestly just anybody in our group. I mean, I know Jackson's going to talk his crap, but the Cardinals aren't doing that great either. The Pirates ain't doing that great either. It's honestly just all around baseball right now. The only teams that are doing good right now, you got the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Yankees.
The
Um,
Guardians too.
Guardians, yeah.
so,
It's
so So,
I don't
Stephen,
know.
let me ask you this because I'm sure because the Nationals have now gone 6-2 against the Braves this season, which is completely unacceptable considering where they're at right now in this point in time. But did anyone watch Game One of that series where the Braves went 6 innings without? I think we had one base hit after 6 innings, and the National starter was under 65 pitches through 6 innings. I'm talking about every time we would swing the bat, it'd be a fly ball in the outfield, it'd be fly ball center, infield fly roll, just ridiculous things like that. And there's even a point in the game where Brandon Gaudin mentioned that through the first 60 pitches that the Nationals started through, the Braves only swung and missed on 3 of them, meaning that we were getting contact with the ball, but it wasn't going in play. It was just hooking in the air. And I thought that was ridiculous because now, first of all, our bats have been cold and mediocre all season long. But then when we finally get good contact, it's just not going in our favor. So it seems like even when we're doing right, we're still not doing right. You know what I'm saying? That's just how this whole season has felt for me.
I think I brought this up in the first episode, but okay, so so I saw a post on Instagram that was talking about this time, this was back on June 1st, but this time last season, the Atlanta Braves are just one game worse than the record they had this time last season. And I got to thinking, it was like, in terms of being at this point of the season, the Braves
Without
record wise
Acuna,
are playing the
without
same they were.
Strider.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like the Braves record wise are playing the same they were last year. And remember, we finished with the best record in baseball last year. So I got to thinking, why does this year feel so different? And you got to look at players like Acuna back when he was playing, Matt Olson, Austin Riley. These players who are absolute sluggers, Matt Olson and Acuna, who are literally record breakers a season ago, are just playing so lackluster that it doesn't feel
And
like we're
Austin Riley
playing
too.
as Austin Riley. It doesn't feel like we're playing as good as our record shows. And Sean Murphy, I know he's been out, for pretty much a whole season so far. But even since he's been back, offensively, he's just not producing. You look at Kelnick,
Finally hit
he's
his
really
first home
good in
run.
left. Yeah, and you got Kelnick, he was really good. He's really good defensively in left field, but offensively, he's bringing nothing to the table. Ozzy Albies, I would say so far, is really the only one who's been consistently good at the plate. Everybody else, these stars, like I just said, Acuna, Olson, Riley, compared to, like, again, nobody's expecting Acuna and Olson to be record breakers like they were a season ago, but to be playing this subpar and this mediocre, it's embarrassing for our team, especially knowing the potential that we hold.
Well said. Well said.
Well, it's also the fact that every time I mean, here's the thing, man. There was a stat that came on in Game 2 of that series as well, or actually it was yesterday's game, talking about how balls that are squared up this season are not traveling as much as uh, balls have traveled in previous seasons. Like, for instance, two shots today. I think Michael Harris in that game yesterday hit one 106 miles an hour, only went 300 and something feet. Uh, Ozuna today hit one 104 miles an hour, again, died on the warning track. I have seen that at least maybe once a game with the Braves this season. Those balls last year go out of the ballpark, and I'm thinking,
Yep.
well, maybe I mean, it's just a Braves thing. It's an MLB thing. We're seeing
Mhm.
this all over baseball right now. Everywhere you look, the numbers are down. Offensively, slugging percentage, everything is down from years prior. So I don't know what MLB did in like the transition. Like they said something about a mound positioning or something, but something's going on. And if this continues to July and continues into August, MLB's got to do something about this because it's not entertaining to watch a ball get hit 112 miles an hour and die on the warning track.
It just
Nope.
doesn't seem like that's how physics works. And I think it's the pants, Steven. That's my theory. And
The
thank
pants.
you, and that's the only good thing about the Braves not hitting a lot of home runs because players aren't getting excited enough, so they're not showing a lot down there, Because if they were excited, then buddy, it'd be a whole different ballgame.
Do you think pitchers are too distracted by what they're seeing when they're facing the batter?
Well,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, sure.
enough being said about the Braves. Can I talk about, as the only Cardinals fan on this podcast, on this crew, can I talk very quickly about the Cardinals before we get into this MLB All-Star
Somebody
ballot?
mute him.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. This is
Somebody-
y'all's time to
somebody-
go up and get a snack or something, or use the bathroom.
Somebody mute
We'll see
me.
you in a minute.
I want to talk about the Cardinals. Every single episode that we've done, the Cardinals have been under 500 by 2 games. Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, skip 5 minutes ahead. We'll be right back with normal content.
Skip 5 minutes ahead, be normal content. This is normal content.
Keep going,
Anyways,
keep going.
the Cardinals bats are actually doing really, really amazing.
Still under
It
500.
is-
I
yeah,
thought they were above 500 now. They're still 2 games under.
I know, but the thing is, the Cardinals bats are doing amazing. They're right now. It says that the Cardinals bats in the past 20 games have been top 10 in the league. But the thing is, our pitching sucks.
So
Our-
what happened? What happened when the Rockies came in town?
Yeah, our pitching. Like
Well, listen, buddy, when you have to have an entire pitching staff that requires a walker to get on the mound, that's what you're going to run into.
Hey,
But I've been really surprised with Nolan Gorman. He's hit 10 homers in the past 20 games. Alec Burleson, and we've seen lackluster performances still from Paul Goldschmidt. Arenado started to slow down a little bit, but we're heading into All-Star break. There's a lot of moves to be made, and we see guys like Luis Robert being thrown out there during the MLB All-Star break tradings and stuff. And what John Mozeliak of the Cardinals is known for is getting pitchers at the All-Star break, excluding last year, because we went like 71 and 91. We had our worst season in the past 25
we
years.
remember. We remember.
Yeah, I remember. But
I also want to note before you proceed that before the season started, Jackson made a claim that the Cardinals had a better lineup than Atlanta. But go ahead, just go ahead.
Not
I just
this
thought I'd
season.
throw
Now,
that out
I mean,
there.
I'll be
Last
honest
season.
with you, buddy. In the month of June, it's not looking great for the Braves, and the Cardinals are outperforming us offensively. But that says the case for about 20 other teams in baseball that are doing the
Right.
same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, we're definitely underperforming, and that's not good. This team's way better than what they're performing as. But Jackson, you can go ahead and continue.
I don't know, but there's Mozeliak's known about bringing pitchers in. We saw a couple years ago. He brought in 35-year-old John Lester. He brought in Jose Quintana, and we made the NLDS that year. And Mozeliak needs to bring in pitchers because I've seen guys like what's his name being thrown out there. Joe Musgrove's name being thrown out there for all-star pitchers, and I think we need a guy like Musgrove in our rotation. I know he's not doing very well this season, but it'd still be a better part of our rotation. But I want to get into, speaking of MLB All-Star, I want to get into this MLB All-Star ballot. So let me share this screen with y'all. I'm going to share the screen with y'all. Hold on. And share. Can y'all see it?
Yes, I can see it just fine.
All right. Instead of doing fantasy
I-
for this segment, we're going to do some MLB All-Star ballot. So we're going to start off with the American League and National League first basemen. Who do y'all think for the American League? In my opinion, I think Josh Naylor, honestly.
I was going to say Josh Naylor as well. He has been the savior of my fantasy team so far. Even though my fantasy team is also underperforming, he has been the savior and consistently the best home run hitter on my team. 16 already on the year. His
Well, let me tell
average
you-
is a little.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say his average is a little low, but the power he has at the plate, it's phenomenal.
Well, here's the thing that I love about Josh Naylor, just minus the home runs, is if you take a look at his on base percentage, it is 3 times better than what it was last year. And to your point, Chase, his batting average really isn't anything stunning when you look at it, but the amount of walks that he's drawing, the amount of walks that he's drawing, as well as the long balls that he's producing off the bat, just shows that even when he's not getting hit, he can still find ways to get on base and help his team drive and runs. And that's why the Guardians have had so much success, because they have supporting cast around a guy like Josh Naylor. And it's helping him out. He's almost at 50 RBIs, as you can see right there.
Hey, but Steven, do you agree with Josh Naylor?
I do believe it's going to be Josh Naylor to go into the All-Star game, but there's another guy that you have to sit there and look at, and that's Ryan Mountcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, 276, 11 home runs, 32 RBIs, has a higher OPS than Josh Naylor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's going to be a close race between the both of them. I think Josh Naylor makes it out, but who knows? I mean, Mountcastle might get the votes, and
you guys can look at Vladimir Guerrero. You know, he's he's one of the better first basemen in the American
better
League.
Average. It's
in
just
terms of batting average
right now. I think that right now, as far as power goes, you got to look at Josh Naylor and Ryan Mountcastle, and I think they're going to be the ones that get the votes.
Hey, but going on to the National League, this guy had a really slow start to the season, but honestly really picked it up. And this guy is my National League first baseman, Bryce Harper. 15 homers, 277 average, 45 RBIs, one of the better first basemen in the National League. And reminder, this is only his second full season at first baseman. He's a natural outfielder, and I know that y'all hate don't like Bryce Harper because he's been in the National League East for his whole career, Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies, and I know y'all are Braves fans, but honestly, I got to go Bryce Harper here, and I really hate. I don't hate to say it, but I got to go Bryce Harper.
Well, let me tell you this, Jackson. You're absolutely right. When I hear the name Bryce Harper, I mean, my skin, everything about me just flops down, because the name just terrorizes me. And like you said, it's exactly the reason is because we've seen the 2-time National League MVP terrorize the Braves for many, many years. And what he's doing this year, in my opinion, is putting up MVP numbers once again. And I don't think Bryce Harper is being talked about enough. I even saw him hit a moonshot in the overseas game against the Mets earlier today over in London, over in the UK, over in the tea sipper town. And I mean, just Bryce Harper's approach has completely changed this year, because normally when you think of Bryce Harper, you're thinking he's going to go up there and close his eyes and swing as hard as he can in hopes he hits a long ball. But I feel like this time his approach and just demeanor as a whole has completely changed. And now he's going up there to see how he could produce for the Phillies in each at bat, even if it doesn't mean hitting a home run. And I'm just saying, Bryce Harper is my pick. He's my anonymous outright pick for sure. But Freddie Freeman out there, he's been doing what he's been doing. The amount of he leads the Dodgers on most doubles hit this year, like he did a year before. And he's almost batting at 300. The home run numbers have gone down a little bit, but he's still getting on the base at a very, very consistent rate.
Now, when I'm on this podcast, I try to take all bias aside, and I would love to argue Freddie Freeman as my pick as an all-star first baseman for the National League. But I want to, highlight what you said, Andrew, about Bryce Harper's approach and demeanor. Well, first, Freddie Freeman, he's consistently being the same Freddie Freeman that we have seen for years and years. He's consistently getting on pace. He still has pop behind his bat. He has 90 RBIs already racked up this year. But Bryce Harper, what you said about his approach, his demeanor, not only has that reflect him as a player, it is reflect the team. Because with him playing like this, the Phillies are performing at a level at this point in the season that we haven't seen for a long time. I mean, they are, in my opinion, they're easily the best team in the National League, might be the best team in the MLB. You could argue the case. And I think with that playing an effect, it makes Bryce Harper's name pop out a little more. I hate to say it, but I agree. Bryce Harper is the first baseman for the National League.
All right. Well, I'm assuming, Steven, you agree, Bryce Harper?
Bryce Harper.
All right. With the AL second baseman, it's between two guys. And after I go, I want to start with Steven.
Sorry, wait, you said 3 guys?
2 guys.
2 guys. Okay, because I was about to say, I was like, it's Jose Altuve or it's Marcus Semien.
Yeah, it's either Jose Altuve or Marcus Semien.
And I'm gonna go with Altuve. because he's got a 297 average. He has 10 home runs, 25 RBIs, 802 OPS. The numbers are just slightly in favor of Jose compared to Marcus Semien. So Jose gets my vote.
I mean,
Twins.
listen, Jose Altuve, he's a rightful team member of Wander Franco's 14U baseball team, my fantasy baseball team, and he's not letting me down at all.
Crazy.
He's a guy that I can rely on day in and day out. And I think the only reason his RBI number is down is because the Houston Astros offensive production is down as a whole this year. And there's not those added runners or runners in scoring position when he goes up to the plate. I think if we threw this back to like the 2019 Astros or the 2017 Astros for that matter, Jose Altuve would be right with Naylor, almost at 50 RBIs. But even without the supporting cast around him, Jose Altuve is out in Houston doing his thing. So, yeah, Altuve for
Chase,
sure.
I'm assuming you think Altuve.
Y'all hit the nail on the head. The Astros, I know they're not playing well, but they have a lot of great hitters still on that team. And Altuve tops the list. And, yeah, y'all hit the nail on the head. Nothing else to say.
National League second baseman. For me, it's between two guys.
Del Marte.
For me, it's between two guys. Nolan Gorman, as I said, 10 homers in the past 17 games, 14 homers, 32 RBIs, a 223 average. And Ketel Marte, 13 homers, 35 RBIs, 845 OPS.
I know you want to argue so much for your second baseman when it comes to the Cardinals, and you want that representative.
And the thing is, Nolan Gorman's doing
Ketel Marte, big dog. It's Ketel Marte. I'm sorry.
Hey, Nolan. I just want to give props to Nolan Gorman. He's been the second best second baseman in the National League this year.
Is something also. I mean, ever since
Luis Arias as well. Don't get me wrong about him too.
Ever gone over to the Padres, the average is spiked, and he's looking exactly like he did last year when it comes to just getting on base every single game.
Yeah.
But just right now, I feel like the guy that's just been getting on base every single day, just like putting up the power numbers. 281 average, 13 home runs, 845 OPS.
Yeah.
You got to give the nod to Ketel.
Yeah, it was between Nolan and Ketel because Nolan's been doing amazing. Don't get me wrong, but we have 10 minutes left in this meeting. But I got to go Ketel Marte.
I agree.
I think Luis Arias his numbers are gonna climb now that he's actually on a team that has better hitters around him. But I think right now it's definitely gotta be Marte.
All right, American League third baseman. Ooh.
I had it down to two people.
It's got to be Jose Ramirez, like almost unanimously for me.
He's at 62 RBIs. He's at 62 RBIs. What else needs to be said? I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree that my pick is Jose Ramirez, but Rafael Devers is having just as good a season as he did last year, and I don't unanimously is kind of crazy.
I mean, you can throw back his the point of the season when he had a home run in 6 straight games. That's the kind of dominance we're getting out of Rafael Devers. With Jose Ramirez, it's the same thing with Josh Naylor. He's just getting on base by all means, and that's the reason he has 62 RBIs.
And that's the reason why the Guardians have over 40 wins.
He's been one of the most clutch players in the MLB this year.
And also shout out to Stephen Kwan as well from the Guardians, which we'll get on that with.
True.
But Steven, Jose Ramirez?
Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, good.
All right, National League third baseman. Honestly, I'm looking at it.
Open in the air. Every third baseman in the National League has just been struggling like crazy. I mean, yeah, man, it's.
I'm looking.
You got.
I'm thinking.
I'm looking at Ryan. I'm looking at Ryan McMahon from Colorado.
I think this is where we're gonna have our first disagreement here.
No, I think Matt
McMahon
would have been in this argument if it wasn't for his injury. But Ryan's actually not my pick. I'm going with Alec Bohm for the Philadelphia Phillies, especially how he played in the month of May. He was one of the better hitters in the MLB just in the month of May alone, and he has a slowdown since. And I'm going for him for my pick.
Actually,
51 RBIs cannot be denied.
I did not.
And the 815 OPS. He's productive. I mean, when people are on base, he's the guy that you want up at the plate. So, I feel like the RBI numbers, Alec Bohm should probably.
See, honestly, personally, I think if Christopher Morel was in Alec Bohm's shoes and had a higher batting average, it'd be Christopher any day of the week. But I think because Alec Bohm has been so productive at the plate throughout the month of May, that's kind of generated him to be the top pick at third base.
That's right.
All right. This is where we kind of get into easy territory. Well, maybe not with the AL, but the NL.
No.
Nationally, shortstop is pretty much decided.
Mookie Betts.
Yes.
It's Mookie
Go
Betts.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead and select Mookie Betts. Unless
Yeah.
All right, AL. It's between
This
two
one's
guys.
very interesting. I mean, Corey Seager, obviously, but you've got to look at Bobby Witt, ladies and gentlemen.
And you got to look at Gunnar Henderson as
Incredible
well.
season. You want to talk about the reason that the Royals have 39 wins? You got to look at Bobby Witt. Look at those numbers: 320 average, 11 home runs, 927 OPS. The man has been killing the ball this year. But let's
Gunnar
also Gunnar Henderson.
20 homers, 45 RBIs, and 954 OPS and a 267 average. Honestly, it's between those two guys. Don't get me wrong, Corey Seager's doing amazing, but Witt or Gunnar, and y'all can vote in the YouTube comments as well or Instagram.
This is the closest I've seen so far. I'm not gonna lie to you.
In my opinion,
Bobby's gonna get the nod from me because that 320 average is something to behold there. I know the home runs for Gunnar, 20 home runs is not nothing to sniff at. In fact, I think that's like top 5 in all of baseball.
Yeah.
But
he's
I don't
top
know.
2. He's
Bobby
top
Witt,
3. Top 3.
Listen, man. Only because of how the turnaround for the Royals have been. That is just such a crazy turnaround. This is probably the best Bobby Witt Jr. season we've seen out of him so far in his young career. So, just because of my own personal feelings towards the player, I got to go Bobby Witt.
Chase, who do you got? Gunnar or Bobby?
Steven pointed out all that needed to be said. Bobby Witt Jr. is my pick.
Where's Andrew?
Andrew got kicked out.
I got kicked out too. I had to come back in.
It's saying it's not letting him join back. Technical difficulties. We might have to keep it rolling.
Hey, but have Andrew text you between Gunnar and Bobby real quick.
He's calling me actually.
Call him. Put him on the thing because.
Hey, Andrew. So we there's the Zoom call is bound anyways. We're about to keep going. I'm keeping you on the phone to give the picks though.
So the episode's still going right now?
Oh yeah. Do you got Bobby Witt or Corey Seager?
Gunnar Henderson.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically,
Bobby Witt or Gunnar Henderson?
Andrew, just give the pick. They can't hear you like that. You need to say the pick.
I had such a good point to make on this one too,
dude. Steven pretty much said it all.
I had such a good point, but my pick is actually Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar Henderson, not Bobby Witt Jr.?
No. Yeah. It's not even it's close. It is close. All right. Well, my pick between Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr., don't get me wrong. Give me Gunnar Henderson. Slight edge. 20 homers, 45 RBIs. He's playing like they're both top 3 shortstops in the league right now. Mookie Betts, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr. are the top 3 right now. And I got to give the edge to Gunnar Henderson due to the fact with the 954 OPS and the amount of homers he has right now and how many times he's brought Gunnar Henderson out of or brought the Orioles back from at least 7 or 8 deficit games in the later innings of the games. Gunnar Henderson is my pick. So how are we going to decide between Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr.?
Wait, Jackson agree with me?
Yeah. And you know what you could say? When you look at now I understand this is just on like players' personal performance, but since what a split decision, I think it's fair to determine what this player has done for their team. Now, of course, Gunnar Henderson has helped the Orioles have this amazing season that they've had, and Bobby Witt Jr. has done the same. But because not solely on Bobby Witt's performance, but Bobby Witt highlights. You got to highlight Bobby Witt Jr.
Do you know what we could do?
Do what?
You know what we could do? All right, pick a number 1 and 2 between Bobby Witt Jr.
I didn't even finish my point. Buddy wants to
Chase, it's Gunnar Henderson all the day, dude.
No, it's
Gunnar Henderson.
Not all day.
No.
It's not a thing where you just say Gunnar Henderson takes over Bobby Witt.
Yeah, it's not.
This is close, big dog. We're on the same level here. Listen, average is nothing to sniff at. That is 50. That is over 70 higher than where Gunnar Henderson is at.
Bobby
Okay,
Wood Jr. is having an MVP season in the American League, and his performance is a big reason, probably the biggest reason why the Royals are sitting at 39 wins right now. And at a split decision, you got to look MVP, most valuable player. He has been that for the Royals. Gunnar Henderson, he's been just as good for the Orioles, but not as valuable. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Well, I know what you're saying, and I think when you take base running into consideration, then yeah, Witt is a lot more of a threat on the field. But the reason why Gunnar Henderson is my pick I'm just putting the numbers side by side at this point because you're right, Steven. This is the toughest call in the All-Star ballot this year. And when I put the numbers side by side, I look that Gunnar Henderson is second, and then MLB on home runs with 19. Bobby Witt Jr. has 11, so there's an 8 home run difference there. Oh, 20. Okay, sorry. I had 19 on my notes, but 20. Okay, sorry. So 20, that just proves my point even more. And he ranked 6 on OPS, which is almost at 1,000, which only so I think he's literally like 6 OPS points off from being in the top 5 in the majors right now.
I know how to determine this.
I just think when you look at side-by-side numbers, you got to give Gunnar Henderson the upper edge.
So can I ask my Alexa?
I mean, yeah, sure. Get Alexa.
Right, pick a number 1 or 2 for Bobby Witt Jr.
2.
Bobby Witt Jr. is number 1 on my list.
All right,
fine.
Number 2 for God. All right,
1.
Alexa, pick a number between 1 and 2.
There's a number between 1 and 2. It's 1.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Dude, screw Alexa, man.
Put him on the board.
Screw Alexa.
Put him on the board.
Alexa's
and this is just our personal opinions. I'm sure that's in my opinion it's going to be between those two, so we'll see who ends up getting the nod.
All right, very quick for catcher.
National League.
We have less than a minute for catcher.
It's William Contreras.
Yeah, National League.
American League, I think it's Salvador Perez. I think that's pretty easy too.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. Adley Rutschman. Don't forget about him.
Oh yeah, you're right. Hold up, you're right. This is all.
The OPS is slightly better when it comes to Salvador Perez. 10 home runs, only 3 behind Adley Rutschman. The RBIs, Adley.
Welcome back to Dinger Dudes. Anyways, hold on. All right, there. Now I can share my screen. All right, now we're in the catcher position. So are we doing Salvador Perez or Adley Rutschman?
It's up to you. I'm good with either.
I'm good with either, but defensively, Salvador Perez, I think, is one of the best catchers in terms of like framing pitches. I don't think that goes in effect in all-star selection, but in our case, where it's like 50-50, I'm just going to say defensively, I give Salvador Perez the edge, and that's why I still remain, but I completely didn't consider Adley Rutschman on my notes. I had Salvador Perez easy, but
no, I know. No, y'all.
I'm going Salvador Perez too.
No, I'm making a stand. Y'all pissing me off with this Baltimore Orioles slander, man. Y'all stole Gunnar Henderson away from me. I am not letting y'all steal Adley Rutschman away from me.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm going Adley Rutschman.
Thank you, Jackson. Because when you talk about the MLB All-Star game, you're not talking about framing. You're talking about offensive production. That's what the All-Star game is about.
Yeah, Chase. Hold on.
When you're talking about viewership, the fans want to see the long ball. The fans want to see.
Hold on. Andrew. You know how Chase brought up, how they support their teams. It doesn't matter about support teams. It matters about solo production.
Jackson, first off, you're getting loud over there, buddy. I would like to remind you that you switched your pick because you're riding Andrew's.
That's all
you do. Hey, Ryder. That's all you do. You're talking about trying to switch over. You're thinking that, like, bro, let's let.
I want Adley Rutschman.
Trying to defend.
Hey, Jackson,
just pick Salvador Perez.
I have an extra seat on my lap.
That's insane. I'm going Adley Rutschman.
Hang on. I had to make this clear. I did not say that how they help support the team and defense is what goes into this. I'm just saying for our case, with this 50-50, and we have to actually decide who we're choosing. But Jackson over here thinks it's more logical to ask his Alexa? You think that's more logical? I'm thinking of how they are as a player, and defensively that matters. Framing pitches. Salvador Perez has a slightly better OPS. And you say long ball? Adley Rutschman has only 3 more home runs than Salvador Perez does. What do you mean fans want to see the long ball? They get that with Perez as well.
Okay. Let's stop getting sidetracked about all this talk. Okay, let's do what we should have done with Bollywood Jr. and Gunnar Henderson. Let's compare the numbers.
Ask Alexa.
No. We're not asking Alexa.
No, I want Adley Rutschman because Steven says he doesn't matter with either. So this is.
You're right. I'm fine with Adley Rutschman, but I don't understand why you're so angry that we want to choose Salvador Perez.
Okay, hold on. So, Steven, what is your pick? Did you ever establish what your pick was?
No, he said
it's fine. Listen, I mean, out of the two guys, I was gonna probably give the edge to Adley Rutschman, but
Then Adley it is.
So we'll go Adley. It was.
I'm okay with that.
I just thought it was hilarious that Jackson was just, I was gonna go Salvador.
All right. Moving on to the American League outfield.
Oh my gosh. Yo, okay.
I feel like Aaron Judge is on.
Dude, Aaron Judge gets one. Let's.
Steven Kwan honestly is a top 3 for me.
Juan Soto is the American League MVP leader right now. You better click his star before everybody else. Yeah. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto have to be off the board. You're absolutely right, Steve.
Where is Juan Soto? Oh, yeah, right here.
There's Juan Soto. So that takes care of 2 of them.
You know, I do have to say.
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker's injured, so,
No, he'll be back before then, though.
IL 15, dude. The injury kind of.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to say though that Aaron Judge right now Aaron Judge could potentially lead all the top candidates and take the crown on the most collective votes, which he would be the first Yankee since A-Rod to do it. I'm just pulling that out there. He might be making a little Yankee history.
Honestly, Steven, then without Tucker, without Trout, I want Steven Kwan. The 370 average, we've been talking about average this whole time. Look at Steven Kwan's average in OPS.
Mm-hmm. Jackson, you kind of look like Steven Kwan.
You know what? I'll take that as a compliment. That's a compliment.
It is a compliment. It is a compliment.
All right. So Steven Kwan
has a way better mustache.
Anyways,
way better.
National
big dog.
National League outfield.
You still got pubes on your lip, buddy.
National League outfield.
He was trying to tell us he grew that mustache. We knew exactly where you got those ears from, buddy.
National League outfield.
Like he drew it on.
National League outfield.
He's trying so hard to keep the show going. He's making fun of him now.
National League outfield.
Man.
Tatis is on there for me.
Rough. Tatis should be there.
Christian Yelich is having the best season he's had since his MVP
that's
season.
2 of them. And
I just want to say, I do want to say this really quick. Shout out to Jacob Young from the Washington Nationals. Offensively, he has 0 home runs and 16 RBIs, but he's one of the best defensive center fields I've ever seen. And the fact that he is a rookie just blows my mind. So I think for the sake of future All-Star ballots, I think we're going to hear Jacob Young's name a lot. Not this year, obviously, but can we talk about Christian Yelich back in his 2019 MVP form with a batting average almost at 330? He's bringing the Milwaukee Brewers back to relevancy. Him and William Contreras, which, by the way, shout out to Contreras. He could be the second catcher in Milwaukee history to make the All-Star ballot. So shout out to him. I think it's absolutely outrageous if Christian Yelich is not included in this ballot, if you ask me.
Oh, well, there's no question. It's no question. But I think Profar for the Padres is someone we got to highlight for the third selection.
Honestly, I got to go Teoscar Hernandez. 15 homers, 47 RBIs, and 831 OPS, and a 262 average.
So we got Teoscar Hernandez, Christian Yelich. It's Fernando Tatis.
Jurickson Profar, big
Jurickson Profar.
He has such a better batting average.
Scrolling past him. You went past him. There you go. That's there you go. 325 average, 10 home runs, 43 RBIs, 924 OPS. Because of the average, because of the OPS there, he's got just 5 home runs over Jurickson Profar. The RBIs, the OPS kind of speaks for itself, and so does the average. I kind of agree with the Jurickson Profar pick.
So who do you so who would you put Profar over? Would you put him over Tatis?
Oscar Hernandez.
Yeah, Jackson was trying to say Hernandez.
Yeah, okay. And to that point I agree with you, Steven. And I think he's actually been kind of flying under the radar in San Diego. He's not talked about enough. Excuse me, he's not talked about enough in my opinion. And I think he's rightly deserved and paved his own path to the All-Star ballot. And I think that I'm a sucker for high batting average because I think a high batting average speaks more volume than any other statistic in Major League Baseball. So yeah, I agree with that pick, Steve.
Hang on. I'm gonna bring that back. Repeat what you just said
about the batting average.
Yeah, say that again.
I think the batting average statistic speaks more volume than any other statistic in Major League Baseball.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Jr.'s batting average skyrocketed ahead of
20 compared to 267 from Gunnar, but I get what you mean because I mean the home run. Listen, Andrew, I understand.
And I'm gonna be putting that on Dinger Dudes, by the way. So I'm gonna be putting what Chase just said and then Andrew's reaction.
Hold on. But Steven, hear me out, buddy. And I mean Chase, everyone hear me out. You're right, and I want to go in and point this out to the world. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is a better player than Gunnar Henderson. But when I'm thinking about the All-Star game, I'm thinking about the moneymaker. MLB, any sport is a big money
Witt, dude. Bobby Witt.
Maker?
No, but I'm talking about like what we're gonna see.
Mute your mic. Mute your mic.
Mute your mic, buddy.
No, I'm talking about what we're gonna see in the MLB All-Star game and what fans expect to see. Bobby Witt Jr. is gonna be an all-star regardless, whether he's a starter in the ballot or if he's a reserve. So I'm not worried about him not making the all-star team. But I'm talking about when you think about you're thinking about home run hitters and you think about offensive production.
He has 3 more home runs than him. Just
no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's got a
probably make the All-Star game as a reserve as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Wait. I was thinking of Perez and Richardson. I was thinking Perez and Richardson.
All right, let's DH. Okay.
For the American League, there's
American
Jordan.
League, it's man. I thought it was kind of close, but it's not really, in my opinion. I mean, listen, Kevin Pillar's putting up great numbers. You see that 324, 7 home runs, 26 RBIs. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You're doing so well now that you're not playing for the Braves anymore.
Yeah, we also got to look at Brent Rooker,
Giancarlo Stanton, but put up Jordan. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that, dude.
Jordan Alvarez's
92 average, 13 home runs, 33 RBI.
David Fry's stats are slightly below Alvarez, but he has a much higher batting average. I think David Fry deserves. Look at his OPS. He's the only one, well, other than Josh Young. I guess.
Josh Young only played for like 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. He's just now coming back. And and David Fry, dude, he's a utility guy too. He can play. He's played more positions in the infield than catcher. Just pointing that out there. He's an athletic freak. I love David Fry, and I'm sticking my pin on Fry. I love. He's like a perfectly seasoned McDonald's fry. That's what I think when I hear.
Why has nobody said Giancarlo Stanton? Why is everybody just completely neglecting him?
It's because of his, the average and the OPS is why I didn't put much attention into him. Because again, like you said, there's 2 guys that are in the top candidates with Jordan and David Fry. That that 104, that having an OPS above 1,000 just takes it from me. You're talking about an entire season where the guy is putting up numbers, slugging wise, and he's just getting on base. He's performing for the. You know
what I'm upset about?
I'm upset because y'all's Adley Richardson slander made me break the bat off Ronald Acuna's bobblehead. So I just want you to know that. I want you to lose sleep over it tonight.
I know this isn't a fancy segment, but I drafted Josh Young with the intentions of holding on to him and waiting for him to come off the IL and hoping.
You dropped him and I picked him up.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's what I was getting to. That I held on to him, but then I dropped him a couple weeks before his return, and then that's when you picked him up. But I dropped him because of the injuries. Because when Ronald Acuna got injured, I needed to create space to get someone else, so I had to get rid of Josh Young. And look at the player in just a short time, already knocked 2 home runs, 6 RBIs to his name, and he's probably not going to slow down either. And I probably just screwed my team even more.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to mean to divulge the conversation, but switching all those pitchers didn't help you in fantasy, did it, Andrew? Shota
Steven, have you seen?
Imanaga.
Have you?
Imanaga had a really good performance today, and that kind of stung because that
Wait,
would have been a lot closer game.
wait, Steven, I didn't even set my lineups this morning. I completely forgot about my what is this score? I haven't even taken a peek at fantasy
233 to
baseball.
216.
Oh
I'm
my
beating
gosh,
you.
dude. I would have thrown in another pitcher in there. I had room to throw in another pitcher, dude. I
No, you had a
completely
max. It's on max. That's why Imanaga's numbers did not count today for you.
no, it wasn't on Max. It wasn't on Max when I looked at it last night. Hold
I
on,
want to take another look there, big dog.
I know we're getting sidetracked, but this is
Hey.
important to me, man.
All right, so DH. In my opinion, my pick is Brent Rooker. Because look at this. Look at
It's
this. If
David
we're
Fry.
thinking about Yordan Alvarez, 292, 13 homers, 33 RBIs, 878 OPS. Brent
Steven, you're so
Rooker.
right, dude.
Brent Rooker has the same amount of homers, more RBIs, a higher OPS, and he still has a really, really good average at 270. He only has, in my opinion, it's Brent Rooker.
It's David
David
Fry.
Fry would probably get the nod, and oh my God, Kerry Carpenter. We haven't even look at his numbers real quick. I mean, 914, 8 home runs, 283 average. That's pretty good too. But David Fry.
So we're going David Fry?
I'll give the nod to David Fry. I mean, why not? Let's do something that we haven't seen before. I mean, let's get in the guys that I don't remember David Fry being in the All-Star game for a few years. Somebody's jog my memory for that.
Not a lot of people are paying attention to David Fry because even if you look at a lot of like analyst lists, they just highlight Yordan Alvarez and Brent Rooker, and it's really just a flip between them two. So yeah, nobody's even really talking about David Fry.
You know what the craziest thing about David Fry is? He can play catcher, first base, and outfield. That's what he's listed on as fantasy.
Talking about.
Hey, I want you to raise y'all's hand if you heard me say that about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, no,
I was really just about to point that out. Andrew literally
talking
just
about
said
that
that.
earlier.
Anyways,
let's go to the two-man race. It's a two-man race in the National League. It's between Ohtani, Marcell Ozuna. In my opinion, Marcell Ozuna gets the nod. I mean, people are talking about the numbers that I don't know when it comes to like the clutch numbers or whatever else. But just looking at the numbers on the surface, 312 average, one point higher than Ohtani, 18 home runs, 3 home runs more, 55 RBIs, killing him in the RBI category, and the OPS is a lot higher as well. So, in my opinion, it has to go to Marcell.
You know what the problem is?
Go ahead, Chase.
Oh, well, I was gonna say what the problem is it is a really tight race. Like I can see the argument for Shohei Ohtani, but I think the problem is that when you look between the two, the money makers, it's Ozuna versus Ohtani that the world knows, and I think they don't want to see Ohtani not make the All-Star starting ballot. But if you look to the numbers, Marcell Ozuna does have a slighter edge. I hope the MLB mature. I know it's a fan vote, but I hope these fans mature and understand it's got to be Ozuna.
And you know what, Chase? And you're absolutely right. But if I'm speaking off the basis of what I think the league's going to do, I'm going to give it to Ohtani. But if we're going to speak off what I think is right, it's going to be Marcell Ozuna. And I'm going to say just one thing. Steven, you're absolutely right. If we're talking about clutch numbers, I mean, we've seen what Marcell Ozuna has done. That game back in Miami early in the year, his game-winning home run the ninth. We saw what he did in game one.
In a lineup of people that are just underperforming, he's been the only bright spot when it comes to this Atlanta Braves lineup. He's the guy that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's the only one that has double-digit home runs on the team. So, I mean, he's been the one performing. He's been the one that's been, carrying a team that's just lackluster offense. So you got to, I'll take a look at him, and you got to just give it to him. I don't know. Like you said, when it comes to what I think is actually going to happen, Ohtani's going to get the nod. Because he's Ohtani. You think you're going to have the All-Star game and Shohei Ohtani isn't going to be the one that's voted in by the fans? Like, let's be real for a minute.
Especially since it's in LA. Just think about where the All-Star game is being played. It is in LA, right?
They're going to pick.
No, it's in Globeland.
Wait, where's it at?
Oh, it's in Texas.
It's in Texas.
I was thinking it was in LA. I don't know why.
LA was 3 years ago.
You're right. I don't know why.
But
Okay, so that's besides the point.
But, my point, to being finished here is it's going to be Ohtani that's going to end up getting picked just because he's got the name value, best player in MLB. It's going to end up going to Shohei Ohtani, but just Marcell Ozuna should still be in the All-Star game. It doesn't matter if he gets picked by the fans or not. He should still be like a
reserve.
Yes, a reserve.
So,
And,
are we going Ozuna or Ohtani?
Well, kind of highlight what I said.
Ozuna.
Yeah, I think
we're talking about what's right. We're talking about what we believe is the truth.
And I'm just gonna say one thing. You go, Chase. You go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, kind of to Steven's point, like what I was highlighting a little bit earlier. Yeah, it's by the fans that are voting in this stage of the All-Star selection, and you look at who's more popular. You have people coming from across the world to watch Ohtani. You don't see that with Ozuna, and that's why I fear that Ohtani isn't get the pick because everybody knows that name. But if you're an MLB casual, you probably don't know the name Marcell Ozuna.
And I'm gonna say this too. This is the one statistic that speaks to me most, and why I think Ozuna, if we're talking about just overall talent this year, does deserve it. Is Ohtani has had more multi-hit home run games than Marcell Ozuna, yet Marcell Ozuna still has 3 additional home runs than Ohtani. And so I don't know. Maybe the ball's looking attractive to Marcell Ozuna because he's hitting it well and he's not missing his swing.
Yeah.
So give it to Marcell.
Hey, anyways, this is our final selections for the MLB All-Star Ballot. The American League lineup is Josh Naylor, Jose Altuve, Jose Ramirez, Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge, Stephen Kwan, Juan Soto, Adley Rutschman, and David Fry. And for your National League team, we have Bryce Harper, Ketel Marte, Alec Bohm, Mookie Betts, Jurickson Profar, Fernando Tatis Jr., Christian Yelich, a.k.a. Pete Davidson, William Contreras, and Marcell Ozuna. Honestly, I really like this list. There were so many close calls, but I want to know what the viewers and the subscribers and the followers think when they watch.
Here's one question that I have for the viewers: how many of these do you believe is actually going to be the case for the All-Star game? Yeah. Like, how many of you, like, out of all, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of all 18, how many do you believe that's actually going to be the true representative of that position?
Another question I have for the viewers out here is, who do y'all think would win, and what do y'all think the score would be? Because I have my pick. I'm picking the National League to win this All-Star matchup.
Nah, dude, American League's got
it. Surprisingly, I had the National League, and I had my reasons for it, but I won't.
American League has won the last 9 out of the 10, besides last year, which that was the National League, and that was Elias Diaz, catcher for the Colorado Rockies, who won All-Star MVP last year. So honestly, I have the American League.
I'm sorry, Chase. Before you start talking, I'm switching my pick. I'm going American League. I was just thinking about pitching the pitchers that are going to have to face.
Yep.
Corbin wasn't even thinking.
It's just and for the National League,
Fernando
Lopez, you get a Ranger Suarez. You're getting, and those are even the guys that are going to actually want to pitch in the All-Star game, because some pitchers might just pass on it. Like, who was it last year? I think it was Max Fried or somebody that
passed on it. Yeah,
passed in the All-Star game. So, I think the American League has the nod.
Something else to highlight is, you look at like the National League's overall performance. It's actually been kind of scary how lackluster it's been. There's only 4 teams standing, and actually right now.
That is crazy, Chase.
That was a crazy freeze.
And that's the Braves, Phillies.
He's experiencing that Wi-Fi issue.
I wish this would happen in Jackson and not Chase.
The Wi-Fi is.
I can hear y'all just fine.
Yeah, you're
your screen is freezing.
It's freezing. You're in and out.
You know what? Let's leave it to the viewers. Right? I'm sorry, Chase. We're not going to know what you said. Just like Kanye West, we'll never know. But we're going to leave it to the viewers, and we're going to end this episode. I want to say thank you guys for all who has tuned in, either on YouTube or Spotify. Stay tuned to the next episode that we'll be doing next week, where we're going to be doing another Dream Team draft. But this time, we're going to take the clock back a little bit more to the 2000s decade. This was when Steven was in his prime, and we were just growing up.
I was in my prime, big dog. I was watching Dragon Tales and Dora the Explorer.
That's the Cowardly Dog with his number 1 pick.
Bro, are you kidding? Bro,
hey, am I back?
Yeah, but we're gonna
Am I
leave
back?
whatever you said. We're gonna leave it to the viewers. We're gonna sign off. So everybody say goodbye, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We want to know y'all's thoughts. If y'all have anything to add or take away from what we said in this episode, please let us know in the comments or
Thank y'all so much for watching.
Hang on. I didn't even make my pick. I didn't even make my pick for the All-Star game yet.
All right, good.
What I was gonna say is I'm picking the American League